But anyway, Zach, I'm ready to get on my take because, man, I got to lay down the law here.
Here we go.
It's not 1999 anymore. Leave sports behind, right? That's my take for 99. Leave sports behind, right? Look, I'm not going to lie. I used to think the Super Bowl was the biggest sporting event in the world, primarily dedicated to the game of football and a great halftime show. But I've come to the realization that it's one of the most satanic events on the calendar. Might be worse than the Grammys, bro. Okay. We saw Rihanna last year throwing up devil horns. We saw Damar Hamlin wearing a satanic jacket last year at the game. Just ironically, wear a satanic jacket at the Super Bowl, right? Thought that was very ironic. This year we saw Sugar Spice is her name, Ice Spice, whatever her name is. You know, Ice Spice, whatever, sitting next to Taylor Swift, throwing up devil horns, showing her allegiance to the occult, right? The Super Bowl was nothing but propaganda. It was full of symbolism, Pfizer commercials, and I wasn't really into the game like how I should have. Now, Zach, I need to correct you. I didn't have the party. I watched the game alone, and I was watching the game from my third eye. And normally I don't, but the reason why I did was because of what I saw happening with the Taylor Swift coverage and the video I dropped. And so I said, I'm going to watch this game as a football fan, but also with an eye, third eye. And clearly with me doing that, I caught on to everything that I probably didn't see the last couple of years. Maybe this is how the Super Bowl has always been. But clearly with my third eye open, I got to see it for myself. Did I mention Taylor Swift, by the way, here? Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Oh, yeah, I want to talk about Taylor Swift, right? And how worn out I am with this whole coverage, right? Is the NFL the Wendy Williams show? Or is it the NFL? Okay, please enlighten me. We already exposed in the last video we did about how Taylor Swift is a pawn for the upcoming election. Legit, I had the proof to show y'all clearly in how her relationship with Kelsey is a contract amongst each other and with the NFL. I exposed all that in my video. If you like Leel, how do you know? Check that video out, okay? Because I posted a clip of me talking football, recapping the AFC Championship game. I mentioned Taylor Swift's name, and it got taken down, citing the presidential election. That's how I know it. Proof is in the pudding. I got the proof, okay? Now, we come out, and after the game, Joe Biden said, just like we drew it up. We talking about brain dead Biden. This guy don't know where his brain is from where his ass is, okay? This guy's brain dead, and he just knows how to go on social media after the game, just like we drew it up, okay? And we all know those rigged comments, bro. Listen, man, a lot of people laughed when people talked about the Illuminati back in the day. Oh, that's not real. And they made monologues, they joked about it, and clearly evidence has shown us over time, in due time, that was not nothing that was fake. That was real. There's guys and girls that worship Satan, and that was proven. So when we laugh about the rig, stuff, listen, man, I never believed the NFL was rigged. I don't even think I still do. Or still don't, whatever. But I have never been closer to that belief before. Okay, based on the things I've been seeing. Another thing too, Zach, real quickly here. I know I'm going off the deep end here, but you got to bear with me. We just not going to skip over the part where Travis Kelce assaulted his head coach. This guy assaulted his head coach, and nobody talks about it. Now, I would say it's the vaccine that's kicking in, but I realized that Tyreek Hill did the same thing on this team. So clearly, there's a culture going on with the Chiefs with a bunch of bad individuals, and yet they get to walk out of here scot-free with a championship. No, folks, I don't like when evil wins. I don't. I'm a guy, when I watch a movie, whether it be horror, whether it be action, the villain cannot survive. Okay, the villain has to go. And clearly the Chiefs won, and they're the villains of the world right now. Okay, now, in closing, okay, I debated myself if I was going to watch this game knowing what I know. And I watched it because I'm a football fan, right? I even debated if I was going to come on the show this week. But my guy Zach hit me up last night. I'm like, damn, I can't leave my guy Zach hanging. Let me come on the show and do something, right? Let me get prepped up and ready to go because I ain't even know if I was going to be here. Okay, listen, I already know sports is a distraction. Okay, when you talk about that movie, Leave the World Behind, Okay, it shows you and it sends you a message of get ready. It's about to go down. Get ready. And sports is a way to distract us from getting ready. But I look at sports a little differently at the same time. I look at sports as a way to ease the pain of being an individual in this life that we call life, right? Where I could just watch something. I got a lot of stuff going on, and I could watch the game and be in tune with the game and have something to talk about. And I'm going to continue to do that. I'm going to continue to do this podcast. I love it. I'm going to continue to watch the NFL. I love it. We're going to talk about the NBA. We did today. And we're going to continue to do that. But as far as the Super Bowl is concerned, now that I have my third eye open, maybe I just might leave the Super Bowl behind. And that's my take for 99 cents.
Damn, man.
I like the process. I know.
Kansas City winning 3 of the last 5. It's got your head spinning. I could tell. But I do want to address
I've never been clearer in my life, bro. I see it for what it is.
I do want to hit on the Kelsey point you brought up, because that's a good point. Like, we should have hit on that when discussing the Chiefs. And here's my opinion on it. I think it was a very bad look for Travis Kelsey. He should not be doing that, period. You can't put your hands on anyone on the team, but especially your head coach. But I will say, I do think Andy Reid handled it about as well as you could. There are a lot of coaches that would have went right back. And if the 49ers would have ended up winning the game, you already know that would have been the lead story on every show, talking about the game and how bad that was. And again, that was a low point for Kelsey. That cannot happen. And I even think because the broadcast, one of their top, selling points, it is a TV product, they were Travis Kelsey and Taylor Swift was a big story going into the game. And I think the announcers kind of glossed over it a bit. They even had Tracy Wilson, of course, doing sideline like she always does. And they kind of just glossed over it, didn't really talk about it. But I do think Andy Reid it happened and he pretended like nothing happened after. And I think that ultimately helped Kansas City. And I think that kind of shows you that Andy Reid has built a culture so good in Kansas City that something like that could happen and they could still get through it and find a way to win and deal with that adversity. You mentioned Tyreek Hill. Kansas City, they're kind of an organization that is known for taking chances on guys that might not always have the best personality.
You know what happened with Tyreek Hill's history in college, right?
Exactly.
Why he got kicked out of Oklahoma State, right?
Right, exactly. Like, no one else would have drafted him, right? Like, Kansas City was the only team that was willing to do that.
But it's the morale. Like I said, I don't like when villains win. I don't. And one more point I want to make about Travis Kelsey, right? Because I think he's in over his head. Ever since this Taylor Swift thing has going on, it showed in his play prior to the playoff game. He kind of figured it out in the playoffs, but his head wasn't here. This guy is losing his mind. He's losing his soul. And I think we need to pray for a guy like that, because to assault your head coach like that, that's not good. And just because they won doesn't mean, okay, put it under the rug. No, that's a bad look in the grand stage of the NFL right there. That's a terrible look, especially with these casuals that know nothing about the game that's watching the game, these Christians that's probably watching the game, or these Taylor Swifties that's watching the game because they idolize a celebrity, okay, that's really leading them into destruction, into this, era that we heading in, leave the world behind, right? But it's a bad look.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I don't know if you saw this too. AJ Brown tweeted this out, and I agreed with him. Like, if he would have did that, or if Tyreek Hill would have did that, or if Terrell Owens would have did that, I definitely think the reaction behind it would have been much different. But, he's Travis Kelsey. He's a gym teacher, right? Like, I definitely think there is something to that. But it was a bad look, and I definitely think if Kansas City would have lost, that definitely would have been the number one story. But the Chiefs have kind of been that team. Like, Kelsey himself had some red flags coming out of college, I believe. Like, he wasn't a first-round pick. Neither was Chris Jones. And I think that kind of shows you, like, man, Andy Reid has built a culture in Kansas City that, that stuff could go on and they could still find a way to find a way to win.
Look at this dude, Mahomes' dad. This guy's a menace to society. Look at his brother, menace to society. I mean, these guys are a bunch of idiots, bro. But guess what? They won the Super Bowl, and that's what we're going to hop on, and we're going to ignore all the symbolism in the Super Bowl. We're going to ignore all the assaults that went in, in this game, and we're just going to, they won the Super Bowl. No, folks, no.
Let me ask you, if you were Reid, would you have benched Kelsey after that?
If I was Reid,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can't touch me. I mean, yeah, clearly they want to win the Super Bowl, so he's not going to bench his best player. They got a bunch of scrubs outside of him. So, of course, he's going to sell his soul for a championship. It's not going to be no punishment, so it is what it is. But it happened.
Yeah, like I just think like I know one thing that really irks you was like Bill Belichick doing that with Malcolm Butler. So it's like always it's a fine line. Like Butler definitely screwed up, but like probably didn't screw up enough to bench him in that game. Andy Reid could have did that with Kelsey, but he decided not to.
Yeah, that's what you do. You sell your soul for gold, and that gold is the Lombardi Trophy. And folks, I hope y'all enjoyed this show as much as y'all enjoyed the Super Bowl, right? Despite everything that's going on in that Super Bowl, man. Look, Zach, I'm appalled, bro. Because I watch sports for a particular reason, to get away from the politics of the world, to get away from the gossip of, oh, she's dating him and he's dating her. I get away by watching sports. That's my outlook. That's my safe haven. That's my man cave. But when it's starting to enter sports, which politics is now, because we are in the world right now, starting to enter sports. Now I got my third eye open, because I have my third eye open when I'm watching the world. And now that world is coming into sports. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm seeing a lot of things that really turned me off. And although it was a good game, it was a good Super Bowl. It went down to the wire, went down to overtime. It gave us the theatrics of the game and the heartbeat. I just couldn't enjoy it as much as I used to because of all the other things that was turning me off. The commercials, the coverage, the symbolism, all that turned me off. But I'm here. I did the show. I thugged it out. I'm happy. I'm looking forward to the next show on Tuesday.
Please like and subscribe for all the up-to-date content. You've been slinging shows left and right, slinging content left and right. Please don't miss anything. If you do, like, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a question, something you may want to answer, something you may have. All ideas are great ideas. Nothing's a dumb question.